What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Palantir. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what's really been moving it, and why in the short term I feel $95 is very achievable. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So on Friday, it went down 4.71%. Crazy volatility, so 84.10 the low, 89.38 the high. So give yourself a shout out if you did buy on Friday, because there was a hell of a lot of fear in the market. A lot of that is stemming from the Michigan consumer sentiment as well as PCE. So a lot of signs that inflation is coming, but when it comes down to it, a lot of the doom and gloom analysts have really stated that what is really going to prompt a lot of that inflation is tariffs. Tariffs are set to start this week, both the autos and the regular, on the 2nd and the 3rd. So for whatever reason, if those tariffs are reduced or quashed, the market is going to really act positively towards that. So I think even in general, going into this upcoming week, expectations are very, very low. And plus we're at the extreme fear category right now. So just people's appetite for risk as well isn't necessarily there. But with tariffs potentially being dropped and a lot of big data points coming out this week, that could give a very positive rebound in the broader market. So as far as data points, you do have a couple big ones. So you have JOLT numbers on Tuesday. Forecast for that is 7.6 on a side note. Then on Friday, you have Powell, non-farm payroll, and unemployment. 3 weeks ago, Powell pretty much had a speech and saved the market. So I think it was the first week of March, and market was acting the exact same. So very fearful. And then Powell came out, stated that, hey, the economy is good, data points are good, and blah, blah, blah. That really saved the market, at least in the short term. So at the end of the day, I do feel that there is going to be a very nice rebound this week. And this is why I like to look at the data points logically, not just with emotion, as well a lot of retail investors like to kind of think, because a lot of individuals are saying that Palantir is going to be going down to 60, 50, and all the other jazz. And last time I did a Palantir video, I don't do them all too often, but it was on March the 15th, and I stated it was going to go to $96. Lo and behold, that is exactly what did happen. So when it was at like $79, $80, it went to a high, I think, of like 96.75. So again, if you follow the data points, it's easy. And for those of you that have been following my channel, I've been accurately predicting all the way up to $125, well above even Daniel Ives's ratings. So this is why, again, if you just follow the data, it is very easy. So let me know kind of generally your thoughts on that in the comments below. But aside from that, though, I think looking forward into this upcoming week, you do have short returning, which is also a rather positive thing. So going into this week, 2.77% of the free float is being shorted, works to be 60.01 million shares. So Palantir is not a squeeze play, just bringing this up more so for analysis purposes. But cost to borrow minimum is negative, so negative 0.05, meaning there is a broker or brokers that are paying people to short Palantir. So a little bit sign of manipulation, but all in all, anyone shorting Palantir, they're crazy. And I think even when it pulled back, like here at the highs of $125 in February, shorts didn't do jack all. If anything, they kind of returned a little bit. So I think just Palantir is a beast that a lot of shorts are afraid of. And honestly, rightfully so. Palantir has a lot of big potential just to continue to grow. It's going to be a massive name going forward. And honestly, this pullback is one of those ones that you probably should be buying the dip on. But then again, you do whatever floats your boat, of course. But on Friday, shorts did return 496,000 shares. So something to keep in mind. Looking at the options going into this upcoming week, you do see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $97 range. And so, like I said, I do feel roughly around that $95 point is very achievable this week. But flip side, bears are anticipating for it to be sub roughly $80. So full on pullback. Some of that could be from this right here. So there was a new rating that did come out yesterday. or I guess on Friday. So $80 price target. Goldman Sachs, Gabriella, has a 54% success rating. As a consensus of all of the ones over the last 3 months, $92.13, which does represent a 7.32% upside. So this is a very unique time that analysts are starting to finally warm up to Palantir. So despite the pullback, they are still remaining relatively optimistic. So some of the recent ones, good ones at least, $100, $125, $120, $115, then you also have $125. So like I said, I think just Wall Street has always had a very difficult time in putting a appropriate value on Palantir, but analysts are starting to warm up more and more. But looking forward into this upcoming week with it right now at 85 and change, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 78 is going to be a strong support. Flip side, 96.27 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. Like I said, I do feel roughly around that 95 to 96 is going to be achievable. A lot of the data, such as Michigan consumer sentiment and also PCE, will be lingering over the broader market. So people will be anticipating that inflation will be kind of on the rise in the foreseeable future. But with tariffs, unpopular opinion again, if the tariffs are dropped, this is where you could easily see it hitting this mark. Not necessarily above it, but at least it should be hitting that $95, $96 range. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. Of course, flip side, like I said, my viewpoint was very unpopular opinion, but if the tariffs are for whatever increased and there's some retaliation back and forth, then yeah, you could easily see the flip side happen to 78. And of course, the next strong support below that is 67. So just kind of be aware of that, of course. But on the actual chart itself, some key points to really watch for. So 100-day moving average is sitting at $79.44, 200 at $55.97. So Palantir has just been flirting with the ALMA and 50-day moving average, which generally is a very big deal for Palantir. So the 50-day moving average is sitting at $90.98. So in the short term, either Monday or Tuesday, you really want to watch for it to get above that point of 90, pretty much rounding up to $91. So let me know your viewpoint on Palantir. Do you think that it is now a good time to buy, or do you think that it is the final dagger that is going to really break it below that 100-day moving average and trend back to the 60? What's your kind of general 2 cents on all that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Then one final thing, if you're looking for some kick-ass buy signals, pop over to my Patreon and get buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.